That's great stuff. Guys, I thought like Ghost Fork, I guess is the official title of the pitch. But I remember when Dice K came over and he had the gyro. I love it when pitchers come over from other cultures. They've been working on other things that we haven't seen in the U.S. You guys have some experience with that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, look, for me, when I think about a splitty, a fork, this pitch, I have to go back to when I first really learned about it. I was in minor leagues, coming up through high school, college. You don't see a lot of them. If you do, you don't even know it's a splitty because it's not very good usually. Right. I get to pro ball and I get called in during the offseason. I live in Arizona. I get called in. Dave Stewart calls me up. Hey, come to the field. We want to, I want to work with a pitcher. Try to teach him my splitty. Okay, well, Dave's pretty good, so I tried to learn as much as I could. I went up and I was on the mound just kind of listening in. I learned a lot about grip, thought process, what you're trying to do. And I learned a lot about the fact that this pitch has different variations. It does different things and it can do it has a mind of its own, which is why you find, like guys come over like Dice K, like Kodai here, and they kind of have their own terminology for it, their own name for it, because it can really do a multitude of things and you can manipulate it in different ways. As a catcher, all I was thinking about was I need to get down and block this thing because I know it's going to be in the dirt. It's nasty. I don't know where it's going. I'm trying to get wide. I'm trying to block this thing. I got to catch Dice K, like I said. Jerry Familia, he kind of formulated one of these towards the end of his career. Jose Valverde was another guy I caught in New York who had a pretty good split. So you learn they all have different variations. They all have different, kind of facets to them. Yeah. And as a catcher, it just made it, one of those situations. I'm going to use this anytime I need ground ball, anytime I need a swing and a miss, and anytime I need soft contact. That's what you go to. And for some of them, in certain situations, it's early in the count. Other situations, it's obviously later in the count. But you try to mix it in as much as you can. As a hitter, though, this thing can be all kinds of difficult. And I'll let you take over from here because, catching, I'll stick back there. You talk about it.
No, I was going to say, just add to your point. I faced Familia and I faced Valverde and Dominican. I played in Asia, so I understand everybody in Asia has a fork ball. Everybody has a split fork. And what you said about it being different almost every single time, it could be the same pitcher. He might throw 3 different variations of it. So as a hitter, even if I'm ready to hit and I expect it to go to one spot, it might end up cutting away from me or it might end up coming into me. You don't know exactly what it's going to do. So it's not only tough to time up, but it's tough to figure out where's that pitch going to end up? Where do I throw this barrel at? Because I'm thinking I'm throwing the barrel here and it's cutting away from me and it's going down. And then I'm looking stupid.
So what's your thought process when you come up to the plate? What are you thinking about? Like, where's your approach at when you got a guy on the mound who is prominently going to throw that, whether it's early or late in the count? What are you thinking about?
I think the one thing you're thinking about is trying to get something up in the zone, right? Trying to see it up because it's going to at some point dive down, especially if you see the spin. It's tough to see the split finger fork ball spin.
That's why it's a ghost, right?
Exactly. That's why he calls it a ghost. But if you're able to pick it up as it's a little bit different than a fastball and kind of see a little bit of that knuckle movement to it, then you could say, okay, let me make sure this pitch is up. But if this thing is middle and it looks juicy, it's going to dive down at the last second and you might not have any chance.
Absolutely.
That's why you see so many swings like this, or you see guys trying to go down and get it because it dives down at the last second.
And as a catcher, I'm thinking that you're thinking about trying to let this thing get deep too, which opens the door for a guy like Kodai who can run it up there velocity-wise. That's going to be tough for some of these big league hitters to kind of adjust to, as they learn the evolution of what Kodai is going to bring.
Because just like him, he has so many different pitches. You think about guys like Darvish too, that they can go to so many different things. You can't just be thinking about the fork ball. You have to be thinking about, is he going to run that fastball back in on me? And that's exactly what they paid him big money to do.
Absolutely. BK, what do you got? You think you could hit a ghost fork? You think you're ready for that?
I don't know if I could hit anything, but at this point. But if it's diving down, I think it'll be fascinating, guys, what will happen early before everyone gets the video, before everyone does the intense scouting on him early on to at least see what this guy has. Maybe you can fool some people for a while.